Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to TJK Network for the first round of the NJSIAA State Sectional Playoffs here on TJK Network. My name is Todd Kazak, and we welcome you here at PTHS Memorial Field, where Pequannock will be taking on the visiting number 9 seed Kinnelon Colts as Pequannock clinches the 8th seed. So Pequannock is going to be entering this game with an overall record of 12-3, undefeated at 6-0 in the NJIGLL Independence Blue Division. Coming off a win, it was on the road against West Milford. That was their final game of the regular season. It was on May 22nd, and that was a 19-7 win. Kinnelon will be entering this game with an overall record of 9-10, 2-4 in the NJIGLL Freedom Blue, coming off a 4-3 loss against Ramsey on May 22nd as well at home. They're currently entering this game on a 4-game losing streak, so they're going to look to try to not only pull off a small upset, but also try to snap that skid. Anyways, let's show you our bracket, and if it loads, there we go. So there's our current bracket. So, of course, Pequannock is the 8th seed and Kinnelon is the 9th seed. So it's going to be a very close game. And the winners of this is going to play the 1 versus 16 seed, which is Glen Ridge and Indian Hills. So, of course, Pequannock, despite going 12-3, are only an 8 seed due to the opponents they played in their schedule not being very competitive, as it was a pretty rough, bad division that Pequannock played against. Only West Orange was the good side of competition that they faced that was in the division. And just the schedule in general, there was a lot of basement teams they had to play. So that doesn't really help too much in the PowerPoints. Of course, Pequannock is a very good team, but of course, not having those quality opponents is going to hurt you when it comes to the PowerPoint rankings. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as we try to reach 1,100 subscribers. We're currently at 1,070, looking to get to 1,080. Turn on post notifications while you're at it, as you can get notified when we do our next broadcast or upload our next video. And also, we upload our broadcasts on a weekly basis, so if you want to look for a specific game, you can notify yourself on that one. This stream is brought to you by our official sponsors, bulbhead.com and topwaterbastards.com. Let's get into our starting goaltender for Pequannock, and that is going to be number 19, Jake Ray Roby, entering this game with a 12-3 record with a save percentage of .400, averaging 5.73 saves a game with a goals against average of 8.6. And she's coming in with no shutouts, which again is pretty hard in lacrosse, but there has been some shutouts before, but I haven't seen them with Pequannock yet, unfortunately. So Jake Ray Roby has been phenomenal all season long, taking over as a starter, as Samantha Rosayola, who was the starter last year, of course, is still, here, just a senior, but she opted not to play this year. So Jake Roby taking over the starting job, has done a great job this season. And also be sure to check out our shop, tjk2.com/shop, link in the description below. And be sure to follow our social media platforms. Both are at TJK Network. We are available on Instagram and TikTok. And here are our links. There's the shop. And, of course, if you want more information about TJK Network, go to tjk152.com/network. So, of course, we have a triple header today here on TJK Network. We have girls lacrosse here on the main station. We were actually going to go travel for softball, but, of course, it's currently raining outside, and we're going to have a feed, hopefully, that may work. It's beta. That'll be on TJK Network 2. And then boys lacrosse is the 9th seed. They'll be playing the 8th seed on the road at Newton. Hopefully they pull off an upset victory. And same for softball, who's also the 9th seed, playing the 8th seed Pompton Lakes. Once again, we thank you guys for tuning in on TJK Network for this broadcast. So, of course, girls lacrosse, back on the upcline after a tough few years, after a dominant 15-2 season in 2021. Then they went 0-13 when most of these class of 2025 freshmen were seniors. Class of 2025 seniors were freshmen back in the 21-22 season. It was a pretty rough year. after having a great season. You know, going 0-13 and missing states completely, and then going 7-12 in 2023. And of course, last year posting their first winning record, 10-9. It was a little bit of a rocky middle of the season, but they ended up, you know, finishing with that winning record. And this year they just went beyond expectations, going 12-3, and looking to hopefully maybe go on an underdog run. So, of course, here we are as we get ready for the opening draw between these two, technically crosstown rivals, you could say, Pequannock and Kinnelon. You know, they're not in the same division. You know, Pequannock and Kinnelon have always had a historic rivalry. Same with Boonton a bit. And, of course, Pequannock played Kinnelon earlier in the regular season. It was mostly, I think it was in the beginning of the year, Pequannock played against them here at home. And it was a very close 7-5 victory for Pequannock. Again, Kinnelon is playing in a much harder division, the Freedom Blue division over the Independence Blue, which honestly, in the Freedom Blue, the top two teams in the division are looking to move to one of the Stars and Stripes divisions, which is a way harder division. That's where Mountain Lakes and Glen Ridge play in, which are the top, one of the higher seeds in this playoff bracket, despite them having 500 records. You know, with those quality opponents that they, you know, had close games against, unfortunately losing, you know, it gives them leverage as, you know, they have played those better opponents. And what Peter Fivefoot from Big State Sports told me is that in the Freedom Blue division, if we can go to that, where Kinnelon's currently in, and Jefferson as well, which Pequannock had struggles against, as well as against Roxbury. West Morris and Mount Olive, the top two teams in that division, looking to move to the Stars and Stripes division, which means there'll be spots open. So Pequannock could choose to go in that better division next year, as most of the team is going to be there. It's only 4 seniors, so they still have a great core to work with next year, and they could definitely look to bring on some more competition and a more competitive schedule if they would like to, in order to maybe get a better seed in the state sectional playoffs to maybe go on a better run. So again, it is a pretty rainy day here. It is a bit on the colder side of things, as it's only 62 degrees outside here. And it's a little bit windy, but overall just a pretty frigid day, a cold day, you could say. So here we are as the teams get out here on the field as we get ready for our opening round in the 2025 NJSIAA State Sectional Playoffs. So Dominique Dygos against Lauren Martimer taking the opening draw. And of course, starting in goal is Madison Martimer for your Colts. Here we go. In the 2025 NJSIAA State Sectional Playoffs, the first round. And this one's picked up by Pequannock, as that one was loose off the draw. Currently with it is Kylie Cannon for the Panthers. And that one is knocked out of her stick, but it will still be Pequannock's ball. Bringing this one in is Emily Ziegler for the Panthers. It was loose there for a second, but recovered by Sarah Robinson. Sarah Robinson over to Caitlin Ziegler. Now over to Dominique Dygos. Now over to Sophia Teresi. To Ruby Smith behind the net. Ruby Smith looking to cut in front there. Guarded away. She'll pass this one along, but nobody there. It's loose, but picked up by Sarah Robinson. No one there to pick it up for the Colts, so Pequannock holds on. Kaylin Ziegler steering in. That one's knocked loose away from a push, it looks like. It'll still be the Panthers' ball here with 10:45 to go in the first. Kaylin Ziegler over to Sarah Robinson. Sarah Robinson over to Dominique Dagos. Sarah Robinson back to Kaylin Ziegler. Kaylin Ziegler trying to get in there with a move. Gets in front. That one is knocked away from her stick and turned over to Ali Alexander for the Colts. But then taken back by Kaylin Ziegler for the Panthers. So Pequannock loses it, but recovers and gets back from a turnover. Behind the net, Dominique Dagos picks this one up here. Now over to Kaylin Ziegler. Now Emily Ziegler with it. Kaylin Ziegler with it here. Now over to Sophia Teresi. Over to Kaylin Ziegler. Try to get it over to Sarah Robinson, but that one gets loose, but Dominique Dagos there to pick it up. Pequannock continuing with the offensive pressure here. Looking to strike first in this game still. Kaylin Ziegler back with it here. Kaylin Ziegler steered it with a shot, and she scores! The Panthers strike first. It's Kaylin Ziegler as they take a 1-0 lead with 9:22 to go in the first. So Kaylin Ziegler gives Pequannock the 1-0 lead as we get things underway. Off the draw, knocked loose, battle for it, and it's rolling, and Dominique Dagos picks it up. Dagos bringing this one in for the Panthers. Now over to Summer Cerisi. And Summer Cerisi gets hit in the back there. And that'll keep the Panthers in possession here. Kaylin Ziegler over to Ruby Smith, having trouble with it, but recovers. Ruby Smith over to Dominique Dagos. Now over to Emily Ziegler to Cam Corbo. Cam Corbo gives this one back to Kaylin Ziegler. Now Dominique Dagos back with it. Over to Cam Corbo. Cam Corbo back to Dominique Dagos. And I think there's a little push there, so the Panthers are going to have a setup here. Dominique Dagos over to Kaylin Ziegler. It's like the Panthers will have to reattempt it. Kaylin Ziegler with it with a shot. Stopped by Madison Martimer. It's loose in front. Panthers trying to fight for it and try to get back, and they do. Emily Ziegler cycling behind the net to the side. Gives it over to Dominique Dagos. Now over to Kaylin Ziegler. Looking to rush in again. She's being guarded away there. She'll have to pass this one over to Dominique Dagos, but she's not able to get it. As that one rolls loose, but is recovered. Dominique Dagos able to keep it for Pequannock. Now back to Kaylin Ziegler. Now over to Cam Corbo. Back to Dominique Dagos, and now with Emily Ziegler. 6:55 to go. Emily Ziegler rushing in with a shot, and she scores! It's Emily Ziegler and the Panthers with a 2-0 lead with 6:52 to go in the first. So both Zeglers on the board early in this game, as Pequannock continues here. Off the draw. It's loose. As Kinnelon tries to fight for it here, but Emily Zegler back with it for Pequannock here. Kinnelon has yet to get any possession in this game. Caitlin Zegler back with it with a shot. This one sent wide here. And this one goes out of bounds. Whose ball is it? It looks like the Panthers are going to have it still. Ruby Smith over to Emily Zegler. Now out to Dominic Dygos. To Caitlin Zegler. Emily Zegler with it here. Behind the net, Ruby Smith now with it. Now back to Dominic Dygos. Gets it over to Sarah Robinson. Now Sophia Teresi with it. Sophia Teresi getting in front. Stopped by Madison Martimer. And now the Colts will have the ball for the first time in this game. So Kinnelon will now look to get their chance to get on the board here as they're down by 2. So Kinnelon will backtrack here as this one is passed over to Madison Martimer and now over to Kendall Kroger. So Kinnelon looking to get set up here as they haven't had possession until now after that save. So behind the net, looking to test Jake Marirobi, again looking for a first shot in this game. Pequannock looking to defend the Kinnelon Colts here. Kinnelon gets in front, and they score. And Kinnelon gets on the board. It's a 1-goal game at 2-1 with 4:46 to go. So the Colts get a much-needed goal after not having possession for almost half of the first quarter. Actually, I should say a little over half the first quarter here. On their first possession drive, they get a goal. It's 2-1 with Pequannock still in front. Loose off the draw as Pequannock tries to battle for it again. And they get it. And we zag over to Dominique Dygos. Dygos bringing this one in for the Panthers. Now over to Cam Corbo. Cam Corbo having trouble there with it. And she's tied up. That'll give Pequannock a chance to set up or take a shot. Cam Corbo with the open shooting lane. Let's see if she takes a shot. And they're going to reattempt it here. So Cam Corbo with it for Pequannock. Cam Corbo takes a shot, and she scores! Cam Corbo, it's 3-1 Pequannock. And Cam Corbo's on the board, the dominant 3 that NJ.com, oh actually we should talk about that. NJ.com predicted the 9 versus 8 Pequannock being one of the most exciting matchups in the first round. And they did mention about the dominant trio of Caitlin and Emily Zegler, and then Cam Corbo as well, as they're the top 3 scorers on the team. Off the draw. It's picked up by the Kinnelon Colts. So Kinnelon getting their second try on possession here, looking to get another here to make it a one-goal game again. But Kinnelon loses it. It goes out of bounds, and that's going to give Pequannock the ball back. So Kinnelon not able to create any offense on their second attempt at possession here. And now the Panthers rushing in with Grace Vischer on it. Grace Vischer over to Caitlin Ziegler, but that one's knocked away and is loose and picked up by the Kinnelon Colts. About a 4, it will still be Kinnelon's ball. So Kinnelon bringing this one through center here. As this one comes in here, and it's over to Ali Alexander. So the Colts looking to get set up here on the attack here. 2:25 to go in the first. This one got a stick in the way here on a pass. Nearly turned over to Kylie Cannon, but Kinnelon fights for it back here. And the Colts hold on here with the possession. Kinnelon not able to connect on a pass. It's out of bounds, and Pequannock is going to have the ball back. So the Panthers back with it here. Cam Corvo in possession for Pequannock with it. So Cam Corvo with it still for Pequannock. As she waits for her teammate to set up here. Now she gives this one over to Caitlin Ziegler. Caitlin Ziegler going behind the net here with 1:15 to go. Now over to Emily Ziegler. Emily Ziegler trying to get in there. And she is tied up with 1 minute to go in the first as we reach that final minute. So Emily Ziegler with it here. And that one's knocked away from her stick. They'll give her another try at it. Emily Ziegler with it again with a shot. She scores! Emily Ziegler makes it 4-1, Pequannock. With 47 to go in the first. Off the draw, the Kinnelon Colts got this one. 40 seconds to go. Pequannock looking to hold off Kinnelon here for the final seconds of this first quarter. But Kinnelon gets one here. It's 4-2. They're able to capitalize quickly with 31 seconds in the first. So it's a 2-goal game at 4-2 with Pequannock still leading up by 2. So 30 seconds left in this first quarter. Emily Ziegler gets it off the draw for the Panthers. 15 to go. Pequannock looking to work fast. Caitlin Ziegler over to Sarah Robinson, who had trouble with that. And it's loose with 5 to go. Panthers pick it up. And it's knocked loose again. And the horn's going to sound. And that'll do it for our first quarter with the Panthers leading by 2 goals with a score of 4-2 as we look to enter the second here as Pequannock looks to keep the momentum going.
Hey, Brian.
So here we are entering the second quarter with the Panthers up in front with a score of 4-2. So here we are entering the second quarter. And here we go. Kinnelon picks this one up off the draw. As number 5, Olivia Torciello brings it in for the Kinnelon Colts. So Kinnelon looking to set up here on the attack. Looking to make it a 1-goal game. Currently with it is Lauren Martimer. With the shot off the post. That was a shot from a distance. And that one nearly was a goal. So Kinnelon not really getting in front of the net there for the goals. They were really shooting from afar, and, you know, they almost got one there. But Pequannock back with it here. Dominic Dygos bringing this one in for the Panthers. Now over to Ruby Smith, and she's knocked over, and that one's turned over. This one is taken out over to center, and it goes out of bounds. So Pequannock back with it here as Kylie Cannon gives it over to Emily Ziegler. Emily Ziegler over to Kaylin Ziegler, and now Sarah Robinson with it. Now over with it is Kaylin Ziegler. Gives it over to Dominic Dygos as she's knocked over. But Sarah Robinson there to pick it up. Back to Kaylin Ziegler with it. Now Sarah Robinson over to Emily Ziegler. Emily Ziegler is going to cycle this one behind the net. Now over to the side. Dominic Dygos with it. Dominic Dygos over to Emily Ziegler. And tries to get it over to Summer Cerisi. And it's tied up here, and this one rolls its way to the goaltender, Madison Martimer. As Kinnelon takes it back, but they send it out of bounds. So Pequannock is back with it here as Grace Fisher gets it over to Emily Ziegler. So Pequannock back with the possession after Kinnelon sends it out of bounds as they try to take it out. So Pequannock back on the attack behind the net. Ruby Smith over to Sophia Teresi. Ruby Smith back with it. Looking to get to the side there. She'll pass this one along to Caitlin Ziegler. And now Emily Ziegler with it. Emily Ziegler steering in. Tries to get in front there. She's pushed. And now give the Panthers a setup opportunity. Dominic Dygos with it here. Now over to Sophia Teresi. Now behind the net, Ruby Smith. Now back to Emily Ziegler. Emily Ziegler gets in front. She scores! Emily Ziegler pots in her third goal of the game. It's a hat trick. And the Panthers now lead 5-2. Off the draw, it's loose. And Caitlin Ziegler picks it up for Pequannock. Now over to Emily Ziegler. Emily Ziegler trying to bring this one in. And Emily Ziegler takes a shot. She scores! That's another one for Emily Ziegler. The Panthers up 6-2. With 7:05 to go, the Panthers up by 4 goals. Off the draw. It's loose. And it's picked up by Emily Ziegler. Pequannock bringing this one back in again. Shot by Kaylin Ziegler, and it's stopped by Madison Martimer. So the Kinnelon Colts back with it here, as they look to get maybe one back here to make it a 3-goal game. Madison Martimer with the pass there. And nearly turned over, but Kinnelon has it. Rushing this one in with speed is number 5, Olivia Torciello. Kinnelon still with it here. As let's get the setup on the attack. Behind the net. And it looks like it will be Pequannock's ball. Kinnelon got tied up there, and the Panthers get it back. Grace Fisher with it. Grace Fisher over to Kylie Cannon. Kylie Cannon over to Sophia Teresi. Now to Ruby Smith. Ruby Smith to Sophia Teresi. Now Emily Ziegler with it. Over to Kaylin Ziegler. Now over to Dominique Digos. Over to Emily Ziegler. Now to Ruby Smith. Now over to Cam Corbo. Kaylin Ziegler back with it here for Pequannock. Kaylin Ziegler rushing in. She's tripped. And that one also lands into the stick of Madison Martimer. And this ball is going to go out of bounds here. Kinnelon still with it. And as they pass this one to the goaltender, Madison Martimer. So Kinnelon still with it here as they keep backtracking here as Pequannock puts on defensive pressure. The goaltender Madison Martimer with it as she makes her way out of the net. .322 to go in the second. Pequannock up 6-2 still. Madison Martimer just continuing to walk away from her net. Going for the long pass. And this one is battled for. It's turned over to Grace Fisher. Grace Fisher over to Emily Ziegler. Emily Ziegler bringing this one in for the Panthers. Now over to Dominique Digos. Kaylin Zegler now with it. To Sarah Robinson. Now to Sophia Teresi, but she has trouble with that one there. And it is taken back by the Kinnelon Colts as Madison Martimer is back with it. Madison Martimer doing the same thing as last time she had it. Getting out of her crease far. This one's sent out to center. Kinnelon gets it. Or holds on to it, I should say. And they're going to backtrack this pass here to Madison Martimer. She gives this one along here. As Kinnelon enters into the offensive zone here for the Colts. One minute and 15 seconds to go as we reach our final minute of the second quarter of this first half of the game. Kinnelon with it. Chance in front. Stop made by Jake Murray Roby. So Jake Murray Roby makes the save. But it looks like Kinnelon's still going to have it here as there was a little bit of a push in front of the net. So they're going to have another try here to try to make it a 3-goal game with less than a minute to go. Behind the net. Kinnelon with it here. Pressure being put on. As Kinnelon tries to get in front of the net here. 35 to go. Currently with it, Olivia Torciello. Tries to get in front. It's high, but Kinnelon still has it, and they score. Nearly turned over back to Pequannock, but Kinnelon's able to hold on to it. It's a 3-goal game at 6-3 with 19 to go in the first half.
Good job, White.
Off the draw. Kinnelon picks this one up here. With 10 seconds to go, they'll look to try to get another here to make it a 2-goal game. Kinnelon with 5 seconds to go. Steering in. And it's knocked over. It's loose. The horn sounds. Pequannock holds off a potential Kinnelon 4th goal as they enter halftime with a 3-goal lead at 6-3. A pretty epic first half of this game. It has been relatively close in these later minutes of the second quarter, as it's only a 3-goal game. But anyways, that'll do it for our first half of the game here on TJK Network. Pequannock will lead by 3 goals with a score of 6-3. As we enter our halftime intermission, we will see you shortly. This is Todd Kazarek reporting this game to you live here for the first round of the 2025 NJSIAA State Sectional Playoffs, the first round. Welcome back, everybody, to TJK NETWORK as we get ready for the second half of this game with the third quarter coming underway shortly. Pequannock currently leads this game with a score of 6-3. So they lead by 3 goals in this game as we enter the second half. Pequannock looking to keep their offense going. So here we are as we get ready for the draw going into our second half of the game. Here we go. Loose off the draw. It is going to be Pequannock's ball. Emily Ziegler bringing this one in for Pequannock. Over to Sarah Robertson. Now over to Dominique Dygos. Now behind the net, Summer Cerisi. Now over to Ruby Smith. Now Kaylin Ziegler picking that one up. Emily Ziegler back with it here for the Panthers. Over to Kaylin Ziegler. Gets it in front, but Ruby Smith not able to pick it up. It's loose and recovered by the Panthers. Emily Ziegler over to Kaylin Ziegler. Now over to Ruby Smith. Back to Kaylin Ziegler. And Kaylin Ziegler gets her goggles knocked off there. And that will give her a chance to set up here for the Panthers. Behind the net, Ruby Smith. In front to Kaylin Ziegler. And she is tied up there. And it will be Kinnelon who gets it as that one landed into the stick of Madison Martimer. This one's loose, nearly turned over. Kaylin Ziegler was right there almost with it, but Madison Martimer back with it. As she passes one along over to Allie Alexander for the Kinnelon Colts. And this one, they're not able to connect on the pass. This one bounces his way out of bounds. It's Pequannock's ball. Dominique Dygos bringing this one in over to Sophia Teresi. Now Ruby Smith with it behind the net. Now Summer Cerisi. Over to Kaylin Ziegler. Now over to Dominique Dygos to Sophia Teresi. Sophia Teresi trying to get in front of the net there. Not able to. She passes one along to Cam Corbo. Kaylin Ziegler to Dominique Dygos. Behind the net, once again, Ruby Smith right there. Ruby Smith trying to sneak in front there. Not able to. Passes this one off to Kaylin Ziegler. Dominique Dygos back with it. In front to Summer Cerisi. Not able to get a shot there as she is blocked off. And was forced to pass it there. That one was loose there, but recovered by Sophia Teresi. Now over to Ruby Smith. Ruby Smith in front, off the post. Ruby Smith had a chance there to make it 7-3, but it went off the post. But the Panthers are able to win that one back here And they have possession. Emily Ziegler back with it. Now over to Dominic Dygos. To Cam Corbo. And now Kaylin Ziegler over to Ruby Smith. Behind the net. Now over to Cam Corbo. Now over to Kaylin Ziegler. So Pequannock will set up here on the attack. Looks to get a shot maybe. Kaylin Ziegler with it, with a shot, and this one sails over the net. Behind the net, Sophia Teresi gives it over to Kaylin Ziegler, and now Dominic Dygos with it. 7:17 to go in the third quarter. Summer Cerisi over to Ruby Smith. Ruby Smith over to Kaylin Ziegler. Kaylin Ziegler now over to Cam Corbo. Cam Corbo with a move, trying to get in front there, and that one is knocked away with her stick. And she will still have it and can take a shot for the Panthers. Shot by Cam Corbo off the ground and wide. Ruby Smith able to pick it up to keep it moving for the Panthers. Dominic Dygos with it here. Now Cam Corbo. Back to Dominic Dygos. Emily Ziegler with it. Emily Ziegler tried to steer her way in there, but she was blocked off. Had to pass this one over. Now Cam Corbo with it for Pequannock. Dominic Dygos back with it here. And this one's going to be given back to the Colts. Called by the officials. So at 4 o'clock, we're going to have our other games scheduled today on our other stations. With Pequannock playing against Humpton Lakes on the road for softball, and the boys lacrosse team playing on the road at Newton. Bringing this one in is Kinnelon here as they look to get one here to make it a 2-goal game. Ali Alexander in possession with it for the Colts. Ali Alexander still with it here. And that one she loses but recovers it. Behind the net, this one's brought. Looking to get a chance at the side here. Maria Iorio and Kylie Canning putting on some good defensive pressure here on Kira Simmons currently with it. And a shot right there, and that one gets through some traffic as that one goes wide. 4 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the third quarter. And a shot right there as Jake Roby makes the save. She's able to pick that one up there and now gives it to Sarah Robinson for Pequannock. Sarah Robinson. Now over to Summer Cerisi, now to Ruby Smith. Ruby Smith to Summer Cerisi. Summer Cerisi to Sarah Robinson. And now Emma Ziegler with it. Emily Ziegler to Sarah Robinson to Summer Cerisi. And now Ruby Smith with it. Ruby Smith trying to get in front. She's blocked away there and not able to connect on the pass there. As Grace Fisher is going to have it for Pequannock, as Pequannock is able to continue with the possession here. Grace Fisher with it here. Hand it over to Emily Ziegler. 3 minutes to go in the third. No goals have been scored. And almost the majority of this third quarter. It's been a very tight defensive third quarter, mainly for Kinnelon, as Pequannock has been putting on all the pressure. As Kinnelon gets it back. They hand it over to the goaltender, Madison Martimer. That one got loose on the pass, but Kinnelon holds onto it, and it's knocked away loose again. As players fall down here, it's going to be Pequannock who gets it back, as Kinnelon initiated the trip. The Colts with it again. 2:15 to go. Emily Ziegler with it. Now over to Sophia Teresi. Behind the net, knocked loose, goes out of bounds. Pequannock will still have it here. Ruby Smith over to Dominique Dygos. Now over to Sarah Robinson. Sarah Robinson to Sophia Teresi. Sarah Robinson back with it. Now, Caitlin Ziegler over to Dominique Dygos. Back to to Sarah Robinson it will be. Now Sophia Teresi. Now to Dominique Dygos. Over to Caitlin Ziegler. Caitlin Ziegler steering in. She's not able to. And this one's knocked away loose and taken by the Kinnelon Colts. As Kinnelon looks to get one here. Again, no goals have been scored so far in this, almost the entirety of this third quarter here. Less than a minute to go with 48 seconds in this third quarter. As Kinnelon's going to set up here on the attack. And a shot. And they score. Kinnelon gets their fourth goal of the game to cut down Pequannock's lead to 2 goals. It's 6-4. And this is our first goal of the entire third quarter so far. So 45 seconds to go. Off the draw. Kinnelon gets it. Looking to make it a 1-goal game. As Kinnelon rushes this one in with 35 seconds to go. And this one is taken back by Kylie Cannon for Pequannock on defense. Now over to Caitlin Ziegler. 20 seconds to go on the clock for the third quarter. Caitlin Ziegler still rushing in for the Panthers here. Chance in front for Summer Cerisi with a shot. Just one. Goes just past in front of the crease here. 5 seconds to go. Sophia Teresi with it for Pequannock. And the horn's going to sound, and that's going to do it for our third quarter. As we now enter the final fourth quarter, only 1 goal has been scored in the third. It was Kinnelon with the only goal as they cut Pequannock's lead down to 2 goals. It's going to be an exciting fourth quarter, as we will see you shortly. And here we are as we enter the fourth and final quarter between Pequannock and Kinnelon. It has been a close game so far. Only 1 goal in the third, as Kinnelon's the only goal to get the goal for this third quarter. So here we are entering the fourth here. And here we go. Off the draw, the Panthers get it here. As we have a whistle. Bringing this one in will be Dominic Dygos. Dominic Dygos. Over to Summer Cerisi. Summer Cerisi with it for Pequannock. Now Dominic Dygos back with it. Now over to Caitlin Zegler. As Caitlin Zegler brings this one in. And we have a whistle. So it looks like Pequannock will get a shot opportunity here. Caitlin Zegler with it. Caitlin Zegler a shot. Stopped by Madison Martimer. Pequannock having that second half slump that is definitely affecting them this game. We've seen it starting with West Orange for senior night. And then, of course, the other game we covered against, which was against the Academy of St. Elizabeth, where they strike first and a lot of goals in the first half, but then the second half is when they really get shut down by the opposing defense. So Kinnelon with it inside of Pequannock's zone on the attack. Kinnelon bringing this one in, looking to get in front here to make it a 1-goal game. Kinnelon here with a chance in front. And this one just goes wide. Maybe Jake Roby got a piece of it. But Dominique Daigo's with it for the Panthers. And we're going to have a whistle. And looks like we are going to have a timeout.
That's the least of our points.
So here we are coming out of the timeout. So Pequannock leads by 2 goals with a score of 6-4. Again, Kinnelon with the only goal in the third to make that 2-goal game. Pequannock has not scored since the first half, and they're looking to get a huge goal here as they definitely need one here as Kinnelon has gotten some opportunities to almost make it a 1-goal game as they're inching their way closer to tying it. Grace Fisher with it for Pequannock, bringing this one in. Grace Fisher tied up there, but she'll still have it for the Panthers. Grace Fisher over to Emily Zegler. Now Sophia Teresi. Sophia Teresi over to Emily Zegler. Now Cam Corbo with it. Cam Corbo has that one knocked away loose, but it looks like Pequannock will still have it here. 8:40 to go. Cam Corbo with it for Pequannock. Now over to Emily Zegler. Emily Zegler bringing this one in. Looking to get in front there. And that one is stopped by Madison Martimer. Was not able to get a good shot off as she had pressure behind her. And now Kinnelon bringing this one in. As number 9, Madison Riante takes the shot. Stop made by Jake Roby. Now over to Cam Corbo on the pass. To Dominique Dygos. Dominic Dagos bringing this one in for Pequannock. Over to Ruby Smith. Ruby Smith with it here. Sophia Teresi try to get it over to Dominic Dagos. It rolls. Kaylin Zegler recovers it.
Pressure.
Sophia Teresi with it. Now over to Emily Zegler. Now over to Kaylin Zegler. And to Sarah Robinson before we have the whistle. Now over to Kaylin Zegler once again from Sarah Robinson. 6:43 to go in the fourth. Pequannock has yet to score a goal since our first half of the game with the second quarter. It has been a close game. And this one is stopped by Madison Martimer once again. As this one, Kinnelon was out at center here, and she got knocked over. This one was knocked loose once again with 5:45 to go. So Kinnelon with it inside of Pequannock's zone here. As the Colts look to make it a one-goal game. Chance in front there, it's loose. The Panthers trying to get it back here. And the Colts still hold on to it. That's Amelia Eisen with it. Still being loose here. And the Colts still hold on. So Pequannock looking at defense still as Kinnelon keeps the offensive pressure going. Behind the net. Kinnelon with it. And this one is behind the net. And Kinnelon turns it over as that one goes out of bounds on a failed pass. So Pequannock escapes the Kinnelon pressure as this one's handed over to the goaltender, Jake Mary Roby. And this one here is handed over to Sarah Robinson for Pequannock.
Outside. He's calling a good game over there.
So we have a whistle here. I'm not sure what it is. Looks like it's just an equipment. Well, actually, I think John McDagos had just two tired shoes. So Pequannock with it here inside of Kinnelon's zone. 3:30 to go. Pequannock still up by 2 goals. It's been a close game for Lacrosse, especially, and a very low-scoring one at that. So Sarah Robinson with it. She's tied up there. It looks like it will be a shot attempt here for Sarah Robinson, as she was tied up. Sarah Robinson with it, with a shot. She scores! A huge goal for Pequannock as they take a 7-4 lead. Sarah Robinson gets the goal for Pequannock and breaks the goal scoring drought since the second quarter. So that was a huge goal for the Pequannock Panthers, as they're now up by 3 with a score of 7-4. Off the draw. Picked up by Caitlin Ziegler. Pequannock looking to get some more goals now that they have some momentum, as they are able to find the back of the net in the second half of this game, with the fourth quarter being the only goal here. It's Pequannock with it. 2:28 to go in this game. Caitlin Ziegler with it for the Panthers. Caitlin Ziegler still with it. Now she backtracks a bit. Now it's Cam Corville with it, as she is tied up. She'll still have it though. Dominic Dagos. Now over to Caitlin Ziegler to Ruby Smith. Ruby Smith to Caitlin Ziegler. Actually, that one is turned over on that pass to Claire Fritz for the Colts. So Kinnelon back with it with 1:38 to go. As Madison Martimer rushes out of her net, with Summer Cerisi putting on pressure. Passed over to Kendall Kroger. Kinnelon bringing this one back in. Behind the net. As Kinnelon looks to set up here on the attack.
Let it go.
Ball loose, but recovered by the Colts.
Down 3.
Last minute of play here in this fourth quarter. 3-goal game here. Kinnelon gets in front. Stop made by Jake Murray Roby. Or did it go in from the side? I thought she may have got a piece of it, but it looks like it will be a Colts goal, so it is going to be a 2-goal game. It went off of Jake Murray Roby. I thought she had enough, but it's a goal. Let's take a look at the instant replay. So from the side there, that one snuck past Jake Murray Roby, went off of her, looked like. I thought it was a save, but it rolled its way in, it looked like. And it's a 2-goal game with 52 to go. There's plenty of time if Kinnelon wants to make a late comeback. Off the draw, it's loose. And the Colts have possession of it. They need to work fast, but then they turn it over on a failed pass. Sarah Robinson with it again for the Panthers. All what Pequannock needs to do is just waste some time. 30 seconds to go. Now 20. Sarah Robinson with it for Pequannock. Now over to Dominique Dagos. Five seconds to go. And that is going to do it for this game as the Panthers pick up a 7-5 victory against their rival, the Kinnelon Colts, in the first round. An exact same score as our first game, which was also 7-5. So the Panthers pick up a huge playoff win at home and will finish the season undefeated here at home unless we have an upset in our bracket where Pequannock will be home. Pequannock will book their ticket to the quarterfinal round as they wait for their next opponent, whether either be in the 1 seed Glen Ridge or the 16 seed pulls off a huge upset, which is Indian Hills. So that's going to do it here on TJK NETWORK as Pequannock advances to an overall record of 13-3. And Kinnelon, their season will come to an end as they drop down to an overall record of 9-11. They definitely had some fight in this game. Again, they do play in a tougher division. That's why they were seeded right close to Pequannock for this playoff bracket. Anyways, that'll do it here on TJK Network. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as we get ready to broadcast more of these playoff games as we get down to our final games of the season as we are in the playoffs.
#1 fans, all weather fans, don't forget.
So that'll do it here. Once again, your final score 7-5 for Pequannock with the victory. This is Todd Kazak reporting this game to you live for the 2025 NJSIAA State Sectional Playoffs opening round. Pequannock versus Kinnelon here at PTHS Memorial Field. We will see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and peace out.